Morning, mums. It's Time Out Thursday, so I thought I would jump on and do a quick live this morning about some ways which we can take time out from Corona. I think that at the moment, some of us will be immediately impacted by the crisis, and some of us will be impacted more and more as the days and weeks go on. And it's about understanding what that might mean for us in the short to medium term. And I've been thinking a lot about that over the last few days, and I've already started to pivot and reframe some of the things that I am doing immediately and in the short to medium term as well. So I wanted to share with you 5 things that I have started to reframe in my life and hope that you'll find it useful in your life, both at home, at work, and with your family. So my number one thing to reframe or to pivot on for yourself personally is to think about what are my new opportunities as a result of this, because as more and more takes place with social isolation, we begin to think, okay, well, I don't have all these events to go to. All my programs and opportunities have now cancelled. What is it that I can do? So this is time now to kind of flip the script on that and say to yourself, okay, what are my new opportunities? So for me personally, it's about bringing forward the release of my book in a digital format. So getting it on Amazon Kindle earlier, selling the ebook through my website sooner rather than later. That's 2 things that I've done most immediately to help with the messaging in my book, to help people. So what are my new opportunities? Number 2, what are the benefits of social isolation? When you try to say it too quickly, it blends together too fast. So the benefits of social isolation will be different for each of us, but there are some real benefits to that. And other than getting cabin fever and going crazy, which as mums, we're probably used to a little bit of that already, you can start to think, okay, well, what are some of the benefits of this, both for me and for my family? And to try and think about the positives and to make the most of that. How can I develop myself during this time? So that's also a really important question. You want to reframe and to flip the script on, oh, I can't do what I've been doing, but what can I do to develop myself? So for me personally, I've identified 3 areas and things that I can quickly learn and develop and start to implement that will help me both personally and professionally. And I'm focused on doing those over the next few days. Number 4, what can I do differently in my home? So I don't know if you saw my live yesterday on the Wellness Poet, but I was talking about innovation at home and how we can make the most of kind of everyday stuff that we might have in our pantry or in our home to start repurposing and reusing things so that we don't have that overwhelming feeling of dread and scarcity that exists out there at the moment, because everyone thinks, oh, there's no rice, there's no pasta, there's no toilet paper. But the reality is there's loads and loads of substitutes. You just need to be a little bit more resourceful. So if you didn't watch that video, I'll put the link under this and it might give you some ideas or even just give you a giggle. And then what are the impacts of this short to long term, and what can I do now to minimize them? So that is a big question. So short term, you might feel the impact immediately if all of a sudden you're finding yourself without any work. And that's a challenging question, a challenging topic. If you're not faced without, having financial crisis immediately, there are some other things that you could think about that short to medium term might start to impact you and what you can do now to minimize them. So even if it's simple as just reviewing your expenses and your expenditure and going through, you might have $10 going out of your account here, $50 going out of your account there. You might have paid extra for things. Now it's time to start looking at those hidden pockets of money and trying to find them and recoup them. Cancel subscriptions that you don't really need as quickly as possible so that you're minimizing your outgoings, and just really starting to review that type of stuff in your life. And then think to yourself, okay, well, during social isolation, I don't want to necessarily be going to the gym or yoga classes, but I can spend more time outside in nature, in my garden, or walking around parks and things, which gives you the distance that you need between people, but actually is also good for your health because you're spending time in fresh air. So just really have a think about the impacts of your lifestyle in the short to long term, what you can do to start minimizing and changing things now, and that will kind of help you. So if you focus on those 5 things in the next few days and even over the next week, it might help remove some of the anxiety and uncertainty that we're all faced with, because we can start to plan and prepare. There's no point waiting to see what happens. What causes us anxiety is not being in control of things, and there's a lot of things at this moment that we're not in control of. So getting control of some of the things that you can do now will really impact you, both yourself personally with your mental overload, and if their schools or businesses do start closing more and more, you already have a little bit of a plan in place at home, what you can do and successfully manage. So just to recap on those 5 things, what are my new opportunities? What are the benefits to social isolation? How can I develop myself during this time? What skills can you learn? What online programs can you do? Um, what can I do differently in my home to benefit my family? And what are the impacts of this short to long term? And what can I do now to minimize them? So those are the 5 things I wanted to share with you. I've been thinking about them a lot. I've made some immediate changes. I've also taken a small bit of money and invested it in someone to help me get on with those changes as quickly as possible, so I'm not losing time and I'm consolidating my resources. So ultimately, long term, the benefits of the small amount of money I'm investing now, I should be able to help more people later. So, there's a lot to potentially be gained from this time. And if you've seen on the internet, the world, there's so much less pollution in the world at the moment that actually the planet might be repairing itself as well. So there's loads of interesting and positive stories to also look at if you're feeling stressed and upset and overwhelmed about the tragedy of this illness. And really, I just encourage you to keep a positive frame of mind, to pivot on this opportunity and to reframe your challenges as opportunities, and to see where you can go from there. Thank you so much. It's Time Out Thursday. Take some time out to review and reflect on those things, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks. Bye.